Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty foundational, a real cornerstone for personal effectiveness. Stephen R. Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Absolutely. A classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Its impact is, well, undeniable.
Right. And this deep dive, it's grounded entirely in a detailed summary of Covey's work. Our mission really is to pull out the absolute core insights, the practical stuff.
Yeah, to give you a clear map of these, powerful lessons in personal change, as Covey puts it, and how they all kind of fit together.
Exactly. Think of it like this. What if you could genuinely shift how you handle, well, everything, life, work, relationships, moving from just reacting to being truly effective? That's the goal today.
It's a big promise, but the framework is solid. It's less about tips and tricks and more about a fundamental paradigm shift.
Okay, so let's dive in. Habit 1, be proactive. Where do we start with that? What's the essence of taking responsibility, according to Covey?
Well, at its core, be proactive is about understanding that your behavior comes from your decisions, not your circumstances. It's about recognizing that space between stimulus and response.
That space where you choose how to react.
Exactly. That's where your freedom lies. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming things outside ourselves, conditions, other people. Being proactive means consciously choosing your response, owning it.
That's a powerful idea, and it leads straight into his concept of the circle of influence versus the circle of concern. How do people typically get this wrong?
Oh, it's super common. People often get bogged down in their circle of concern, focusing energy on things they really can't control. Think global politics, other people's choices, the economy.
Stuff that causes worry but you can't directly affect.
Right. And that focus actually drains energy, it's negative, and it can even make your actual area of control, your circle of influence, feel smaller. Reactive people live there.
So proactive people flip that.
Yes. They focus their time and energy squarely on their circle of influence, the things they can do something about, their health, their skills, their work quality, their relationships. And the interesting thing, focusing there generates positive energy and actually causes that circle of influence to grow over time.
And Covey says our language is a dead giveaway, right? It shows where our focus lies.
Absolutely. Listen to how people talk. Reactive language sounds like, I can't, I have to, if only. It places the control outside.
My boss is making me crazy.
Exactly. Whereas proactive language sounds like, I can, I will, I choose, is taking ownership. So instead of, my boss makes me work late, it might be, I'm choosing to prioritize this project deadline. It's subtle, but reflects a massive internal shift.
So a good question for you listening is, where's your energy going? Circle of influence or concern? And what does your everyday language tell you? Okay, from controlling our reactions, Covey takes us to defining our direction. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind.
This one's about vision. It's about knowing where you're ultimately trying to go. Covey talks about needing a changeless core to navigate change effectively.
A personal mission, essentially, like a North Star.
Precisely. It's about personal leadership. He encourages developing a personal mission statement, almost like a personal constitution. It's a solid expression of your deepest values and your vision for your life.
So not just like vague goals, but something deeper, a standard to measure things against.
Exactly. It becomes the criteria by which you measure everything else. It ensures your actions, your daily choices, align with what truly matters most to you specifically. It connects you to your unique purpose.
And he breaks it down further, doesn't he? Identifying different life roles.
Yes, that's a really practical part. You identify your key roles, maybe parent, spouse, manager, friend, individual, and then you think about the end in mind for each of those roles. What results do you want?
So it brings balance. It stops one area, like work, from totally consuming everything else.
Right. It ensures your mission statement isn't just theoretical, but actually guides how you operate in all the important areas of your life, reflecting your core values across the board.
He also mentions things like visualization and affirmations here, which might seem a bit out there for some.
Yeah, he brings in creative visualization, really picturing yourself achieving your goals and positive affirmations. But the point isn't just magical thinking. It's about consciously programming your mind, aligning your subconscious with your stated values and goals. It makes it more likely your daily actions will naturally follow that path, designing your future internally first.
So for you, our listener, what is your end in mind? What really matters? How do you define success beyond maybe just the next promotion or paycheck? Worth pondering. Which brings us neatly to habit 3. Put first things first.
The practical discipline habit. This flows directly from habit 2. If you know your end in mind, This is about how you get there day to day, week to week.
It's about action prioritization.
Exactly. But it's not just about being busy or having a long to-do list. The core idea is scheduling your priorities, rather than just prioritizing whatever lands on your schedule. Big difference.
Okay, let's unpack his famous time management matrix. Those 4 quadrants. They're incredibly useful.
They really are. So he categorizes tasks by urgency and importance. Quadrant 1 is urgent and important. These are crises, deadlines, real problems. Firefighting mode.
Stuff you can't ignore.
Right. Then there's quadrant 2, not urgent, but important. This is the key one. Planning, prevention, relationship building, learning, exercise, preparation.
The stuff that prevents future crises, basically.
Exactly. Quadrant 3 is urgent, but not important. Think interruptions, some meetings, many emails, things that demand attention but don't move your key goals forward.
The illusion of productivity.
You got it. And finally, quadrant 4,
Yeah.
not urgent and not important. Time wasters, busy work, excessive scrolling. You know the drill.
So the secret sauce is living in quadrant 2 as much as possible.
That's the goal. Effective people minimize time in 3 and 4, and they shrink I by investing consistently in 3. By planning, preparing, and building relationships before things become urgent, they reduce the number of fires they have to fight.
It makes sense. Less reactive, more proactive, right back to habit 1.
Precisely. And that's why he advocates for weekly planning over just daily lists.
Ah, why weekly?
Because a week gives you a broader perspective. You can look at your roles from habit 2, set goals for the week in those roles based on your priorities, quadrant 2 activities, and then schedule those first before the week fills up with quadrant-free demands. It's a principle-centered approach.
So another question for you listening. Honestly, which quadrant dominates your time? And what could change if you consciously carved out more time for quadrant 2 activities this week? Okay, moving on. Habit 4. Think win-win.
This shifts focus to our interactions with others. It's about seeking mutual benefit. Not your way or my way, but a better way, together.
It sounds nice, but in reality, isn't life often about competition? Someone wins, someone loses.
Well, Covey acknowledges other paradigms exist. Win, lose, lose, win, lose, lose.
Yeah.
Even just win, thinking only of yourself. But he argues that for sustainable long-term effectiveness, especially in interdependent situations, win-win is the only viable option.
Why is that?
Because win-win leads to solutions everyone is genuinely committed to. Other outcomes breed resentment, rivalry, or withdrawal. Win-win builds trust and positive relationships. It relies on what he calls an abundance mentality.
Okay, explain that. Abundance versus scarcity.
Right. A scarcity mentality sees life as a fixed pie. If you get a big slice, there's less for me. It's zero-sum. An abundance mentality believes there's plenty out there for everybody. Success doesn't have to come at someone else's expense. It fosters cooperation and creativity.
That's a fundamental difference in worldview.
Huge. And achieving win-win consistently isn't accidental. It rests on 3 pillars. First, character. Things like integrity, being true to your values, maturity, balancing courage to state your needs with consideration for others, and that abundance mentality.
Okay, character first.
Second, relationships. Built on high trust. You can't really get to win-win if there's no trust or credibility bank account built up.
Makes sense. And third.
Third, agreements. These flow from the relationship. They need to clearly define the desired results, guidelines, resources, accountability, and consequences for both parties. Really clear expectations.
So maybe think about an area where you feel friction or competition. Could shifting from scarcity to abundance, aiming for a true win-win, change the dynamic? Interesting. Now, habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This sounds like communication 101, but it's harder than it looks.
Oh, much harder. This is the habit of empathic listening. The core principle is simple. Listen with the absolute intent to understand the other person deeply, not just waiting for your turn to talk or formulating your rebuttal.
Empathic listening, what does that actually feel like in practice?
It means stepping out of your own frame of reference, your own autobiography, and trying to see the world through their eyes. Understanding their perspective, their feelings, their paradigm. It's listening with your ears, eyes, and heart.
Wow. And Covey points out how we usually mess this up, right? Those autobiographical responses.
Yes, he identifies 4 common ways we listen, but really from our own perspective. We evaluate, agree or disagree. We probe, ask questions from our own agenda. We advise, give solutions based on our experience. Or we interpret, try to figure out their motives based on our psychology.
And all of those stop us from truly understanding them.
Exactly. They're all about us, our judgment, our curiosity, our solutions, our analysis. They block genuine understanding.
He uses that great phrase, providing psychological air.
Yes. When you truly listen empathically, you give the other person space to breathe emotionally and intellectually. They feel heard, validated, understood. That feeling of, they get it. That's psychological air.
And then once they feel understood, they become much more open to your perspective, to problem solving.
Absolutely. Understanding builds the trust needed for influence and synergistic solutions. You have to understand before you can hope to be understood effectively.
So reflect on your conversations. How much are you truly listening to grasp the other person's reality versus just reloading for your next point? A game changer if you can shift that. Okay, habit 6, synergize.
Synergy. Covey calls this the highest activity, the culmination of all the other habits. It's about creative cooperation.
More than just teamwork.
Much more. The essence is that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. 1 + 1 = 3, or 10, or 100. It's about creating something new together that wasn't possible individually.
And the key is valuing differences, not trying to get everyone on the same page initially.
Precisely. Synergy thrives on differences, different perspectives, insights, experiences. It's not about compromise where 1 + 1 = 1.5. It's about leveraging those differences to arrive at a third alternative, a solution that's better than what anyone started with.
That requires a certain environment, though. What enables that kind of creative cooperation?
Well, it builds on the previous habits. You need high trust, from win-win thinking and empathic listening, open communication, a shared understanding of the goal, begin with the end in mind, and a genuine willingness from everyone to learn and be influenced. It's habits 4 and 5 in action, basically.
And how does that communication actually work when you're aiming for synergy?
It generally involves clearly defining the problem or opportunity first. Then, everyone shares their perspectives openly and honestly, using empathic listening to really understand the different views. Then, crucially, you brainstorm and explore new options together, building on the differences rather than trying to smooth them over. Finally, you arrive at a solution that incorporates the best insights and meets everyone's core needs.
Think about times you've seen that happen. Maybe a project where the final outcome was way beyond the initial ideas. Or maybe where could you actively seek out different views to find a better solution instead of just settling? Powerful stuff. Which leads us to the final habit. Habit 7, sharpen the saw.
Yes, this is the habit of self-renewal. It's about preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, which is you. It makes all the other habits possible.
It's not just downtime, is it? It's structured renewal.
Exactly. Covey outlines 4 dimensions that need regular attention. First, the physical: exercise, nutrition, stress management, rest. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, the body.
Second, the mental: continuing to learn, reading, planning, writing, visualizing, expanding your mind.
Mind engagement.
Third, the social emotional: building relationships, making meaningful contributions through service, practicing empathy, seeking synergy, basically investing in your connections and emotional well-being.
Relationships and emotions. Got it.
And fourth, the spiritual: clarifying your values, committing to them, spending time in nature, meditation, prayer, great literature or music, whatever connects you to your core principles and provides a sense of purpose and peace.
So it's really holistic: body, mind, heart, and spirit.
Totally. And the key is balance. They're all interconnected. Renewing yourself in one dimension positively impacts the others. Good physical health improves mental sharpness. Strong relationships bolster emotional resilience. A clear spiritual core guides everything.
It's like preventative maintenance for your entire being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not optional if you want sustained effectiveness. Covey says it leads to an upward spiral of growth, constantly improving your capacity to live all 7 habits more effectively. It's the investment that yields the highest returns.
So as we wrap up, take stock. How are you doing on sharpening your saw across those 4 areas? Is one being neglected? What's one small thing you could do consistently starting this week to invest in your own renewal?
It really brings it all together, doesn't it? From taking charge internally with habit 1, setting direction with 2, managing yourself with 3, interacting effectively with 4, 5, and 6, and then sustaining it all with 7. It's a powerful, integrated framework.
It really is. It's not just a list. It's a system for principled living, for personal leadership. So here's the final thought for you. If you had to pick just one habit to focus on deepening this week, which one calls to you most right now?
And more importantly, what's one specific, concrete action you could take today or tomorrow to start integrating that habit more fully?
Remember, this isn't about overnight transformation. It's a journey. Use these principles as a guide, reflect on your own path, and keep moving toward greater effectiveness and ultimately a more fulfilling life.